Hey, what's up you guys? This is Adam Kirk with another video and the first video of this series on real estate, taking you guys through my journey and through the evolution of my career. Today, if you guys want to learn how to pass the California real estate exam on your first attempt, stay tuned. All right, you guys, welcome back. The reason I'm making this video is because when I was going in to take my exam, I researched countless times different tactics and strategies on how to pass the exam, and I didn't really find what I was looking for. So my hope is that this video will be able to provide a level of transparency and value to you guys so you can go in and pass the exam on your first try as well. First and foremost, let's start out with softwares. Now, there's a lot of different softwares and courses and classes and books. However, let me save you some time and recommend this one tool, and that is Prep Agent. I want to give a big shout out to John. I'm telling you guys right now, there's a lot of different strategies that you can use. I went with one called Real Estate Express. They did a good job. However, the material was really thick and murky, and it was a lot of big terms and was really just kind of hard to navigate. That's when I was recommended Prep Agent by a friend. Shout out to Geronimo Zuniga in Sacramento.
What's going on, guys? Geronimo Zuniga with the Zuniga team,
who also passed the exam on his first try. Now let's go into Prep Agent. What can you guys expect? Number one, you guys can expect everything from flashcards to webinars talking about the exam, also audio, and one of my favorite tools that they have on that software is the practice exam. They have different exams on different topics that you're going to see on the real estate exam. However, the best approach in terms of taking those practice exams is by doing a master exam. Now, what I did was I took the master exam and I put in 150 questions. Now, you guys can customize the amount of questions. The reason I did 150 is the California real estate exam is 150 questions. Now, once you guys run through this multiple times, it will give you a good feel on how long the exam is going to last, while also hitting on every topic and point that you're going to see on the California real estate exam. Now, as far as pricing goes with prepagent.com, I went with premium. It's $89 for the year and well worth it. Think about it, you guys. This is your California real estate exam. This is the one thing that's holding you back from making so much money in commissions. And at the end of the day, $89 is a very minute price to pay in order to get that golden ticket, that license to go out and sell real estate as a real estate agent in California. Moving on to step two, now that we have our software and we have the tools that we need to be able to go in and study for the exam, let's talk about how we're going to study for it. See, a lot of people, they tend to cram last minute or they schedule the exam as soon as they get the opportunity to. And I recommend that you guys give yourself a good bit of time to study for the exam. So when you go in, you don't only just pass the test, but you pass it with flying colors and can use that knowledge later on in your career. Now, the route that I took to studying may be a little bit unusual, but bear with me. I actually got this idea from a guy named Jim Quick. He's an expert on the brain and absolutely incredible in the field of learning faster. Jim Quick is a big believer in studying for only 20 to 30 minutes max at a time in short segments.
We know you study better when you study in chunks. Your retention diminishes after about 25 or 30 minutes.
After the time is up, taking a 1 to 2 minute break, whether it's getting water or talking to a friend or just walking around the apartment, this helps you to not go into a lull or go into boredom where you're not really consuming all the information and, more importantly, understanding it in its fullest concepts. On any average night, I would do anywhere from 3 to 5 segments depending on my mood that night and how tired I was. Getting enough sleep when studying for the exam is vital because at the end of the day, when you study all night and don't get proper sleep, it's not really clicking that enter button on the computer that's going to help you save that information. Just another concept given to me by Jim Quick. All in all, the best approach to studying is 20 to 30 minutes max at a time and doing 3 to 5 segments per night, every single night until you take the exam. I've got to say right now, I'm a strong believer in Jim Quick and his different concepts, and I believe strongly that this route to take in terms of studying was one of the many tools that helped me pass the exam on the first attempt. All right, step three, now that we have purchased the proper software that's going to help us pass the exam, we understand how to study for it, let's talk about what to expect on the actual exam itself. I'm not allowed to give you guys extreme details on how the test is laid out. However, I'll give you guys some pointers that are going to help you pass that exam. Number one, you are not going to see a word-for-word question on the real estate exam that you'll see in Prep Agent. However, you're going to see questions that are formatted in a very similar way. See, government tests tend to be a little bit complicated in the way they ask questions and the way they answer them. It actually reminded me of taking my driver's test a couple of years back when I actually failed 3 times because I didn't really understand how they were asking the questions and how they were answering them. The biggest thing I noticed within a few questions of the test is they give you a large paragraph to read through. However, the question is somewhere hidden in the middle. Look for that question and then find the answer. Another thing to think about is the process of elimination. When you're looking at the exam, usually you're going to be able to tell right off the bat which answers don't really go with that question and be able to play the process of elimination to narrow it down to 1 or 2 answers. Overall, the exam, like I said, is not exactly like Prep Agent. However, if you consume and understand Prep Agent, the way it asks questions, the way it answers them, and the overall format of those questions, I can guarantee you'll be a lot more comfortable when going to take the California real estate exam. All right, step 4. Now that we have purchased the proper software to pass the exam, we know how to study, and we have a better understanding of how the exam is laid out. Let's talk about what we do right before the exam. See, a lot of people believe that if they cram right up until the hour, they'll have all that information. However, this is not the case. The best strategy to take a few hours before the exam is number 1, get proper sleep. Number 2, make sure that you wake up, you treat yourself to a nice breakfast, maybe a cup of coffee, and run through some questions in a light way. Another key tactic that I used a few hours before taking the exam is I jumped on Prep Agent and went through questions that I already understood the answer to. The reason for this was to boost confidence and morale and decrease the chances of me feeling unconfident before the test. Remember, you only need a 70% to pass the test, and this is why it's so important that you guys have confidence going into it. Otherwise, you're going to second guess yourself and start getting answers wrong when you already knew the answer prior. Overall, we all have different strategies and tactics on before doing something big in our lives. However, the most important thing is to stay relaxed, stay efficient, go through some questions that you already know and understand, and make sure to maintain a healthy diet. Doing these things is going to set up your mindset and your brain to go in and crush that exam. All right, number 5, the final step of passing your real estate exam on the first try. Let's talk about how to take the test. See, there is a strategy to this. It's important that we understand how to go through the exam. Let's talk about the strategy behind taking the test. See, a lot of people, once they've studied for weeks and weeks, they're anxious to get in there and blast through the test. This is not the approach. The best approach to take is to take the exam similar to how you studied for the exam. Now, the way that I did this is the test is 150 questions. I would go through 50 questions, skipping the ones that I didn't understand. Doing this is going to boost morale and confidence and also keep you at an efficient pace moving through the test. Once I'd completed 50 questions, I would then stand up, take my break, walk around, and really utilize the fact that you have unlimited breaks in that 3-hour period. I noticed that a lot of my fellow test takers weren't taking any breaks. Oftentimes, this is because they get so anxious on passing the exam that they don't want to stand up or walk around. Now, the problem with this is after that first 60 or 70 questions, you tend to get burnt out and start second guessing yourself. The way I did it was I would go 50 questions at a time, stand up, take my break, walk around, stretch, get a drink of water, and then get right back into it. See, I did this for the first 3 segments of 50 questions each, and then I would go back and go through all the questions that I had skipped previously on what I didn't know. Those last 20 that I had skipped and didn't really understand didn't seem so intimidating now that I was so close to being done with the exam. It also gave me a little bit more time to check my clock, see how much time I had left, and then go in and take them down one by one. After completing the exam, I then picked up my belongings, exited the room, and grabbed my slip of paper on the way out. I probably walked a quarter of a mile before I worked up the courage to open up the slip of paper. And as I hoped, I read the words, "Congratulations, you have passed your California real estate license exam." I can't explain how excited I was because I knew that that one thing, that one obstacle that was holding me back from a career in real estate was finally under my belt. And I can't wait for you guys to feel that same way too. If you guys like this video and found some value in it, be sure to like and subscribe and share it with someone who you know is about to take their real estate exam. I'm hoping to provide a lot of value to you guys, and I'm excited for this journey in real estate. Thanks for watching, and go Padres.
For all of us here at News Center 4, I'm Ron Burgundy. You stay classy, San Diego.
See you in a bit.
Rolling. Rolling.
I then picked up my belongings. Exited the room, and got the slip of paper I then picked up my belongings. Good. Ooh.